jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Salute to everyone. What's going on? WCS on deck. Appreciate everyone pulling up. You know what it is, man. Shout out to everyone that's about to enjoy their weekend with whomever and however you choose to do it, man. Big shout out. Be safe out there from WCS, man. You already know how it is. First in the building, man. Big blunts and boxing on deck, shouty. What's good? Salute OG. Sound check. Can't hear you if you was talking. Appreciate it. I wasn't exactly on, but yeah, appreciate it. If that's ever the case, I'd rather somebody tell me, you know what I'm saying, and just let me know just because. Appreciate the heads up there, blunts and boxing, real talk. So let's get down. We got some pretty decent topics, man. You know, we want to talk about Fury, the possibility of Tank and Garcia in the ATL. And you know, the big talk of the talk is Devin Haney. Devin Haney vacates the ring. I know you want to hear my side of the story. Real talk. I mean, I know you definitely want to hear what I have to say about it, you know? And also on the tail end, we got KSI. Look, I'm going to start right off the rip with KSI as going on the zone. I'm going to start off right off the rip and cover and get them out the way. KSI is having 2 fights in one night. He's fighting two names in one night. Now, I want to give him the check mark to say, hey, man, you know, it takes some cojones pretty much to do what you're doing, fighting 2 fights in one night. But when you look at who he's fighting, hey, I'm pretty sure I can go, you know, to a freaking shipping storage, you know what I'm saying, of lost containers and find some freaking mannequins in there and say, hey, I'm fighting 10 motherfuckers in one night. Because one of his opponents has been knocked out, I believe, 4 times out of the 5 fights, 6 fights he had. He's been stopped 4 times. You know, tall, lanky, you know, Sebastian Fundora Goodwill model, Salvation Army model of Sebastian Fundora. You know, he's kind of tall, lanky looking, look like he doesn't have a muscle in his body. No, dude, you're a boxer just because you're able to get a license, but he don't have a winning record. And then, you know, KSI is going to fight some hip hop dude named Swarms, whatever. Man, I mean, not Swarms, whoever it is. I'm not even, let me look down here because I'm not even giving this too much attention. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting his other opponent. What's the dude's name? That's how unimportant this is. I just wanted to talk about it because it's pretty cool, actually. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool that he's trying to go in here and fight 2 guys in one night. You know, it's pretty cool for entertainment, being that we have exhibitions going on and everything. You feel me? But that's all I have to say about that. I want to give a shout out to Taylor Killer B Starling. I covered her when she was on the boxing scene. No one knew her. Before she had all the ink, she's gonna be fighting for a world championship. Shout out to Christian Fury. She's an absolute beast. You know, she's going in there in a championship fight, women's championship, bare knuckle fighting championship this, you know, tomorrow. And I like both fighters, man. Real talk. Fury gives you the raw, you know, uncut when it comes to women's fighting. Seriously. Cool as a fan. You know, she's been in the bare knuckle fighting scene for quite some time. Also, she was in mixed martial arts. She has a win over the gorgeous, prepossessing Rachel Ostrovich back in the day. She really dog walked her. But she's been in kickboxing, MMA, and bare knuckle fighting. I mean, it's not much that she hasn't done as a combat pugilist. I think Christian Fury is gonna win this. I understand Taylor Starling, which is, I like Killer B. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her when she was, you know, at the regional level, and she didn't have this much exposure. But it's incredible how she's risen to fame. It's wild, man. I salute to her, man. She stayed with it. She's risen to fame. You know, she didn't do that well at boxing, but now she's in here just with no gloves. You know what I'm saying? With no gloves and bare knuckle fighting, torn the line, shouty. Salute to you. Let's get down to the topics, right? Salute, family. Sir Senior on deck. Salute to you, Sir Senior. The best dad ever. What's good with it? What up, World Combat Sports? What's good with you? Appreciate y'all pulling up. So let's get to the good topics. Tyson Fury, of all people, when he was pretty much being pretentious, putting on a facade as if he was going to retire from the sport. And I say to myself, even the temporary boxing fans understood that Tyson Fury going to be in a hiatus for long. He was just to bring attention, just to damn tease us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it seem like he was goofing off once more. Now, any one of us can understand that Tyson Fury had a lot of money left on the table. It's nothing that he would have been doing that was so special, Rocky Marciano. It just wasn't that case. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't close to Floyd Mayweather's situation. He wasn't close to Rocky's situation. So it really wouldn't have made any sense for him to stay retired after defeating Deontay Wilder for a second time. Then to come in here and think people are going to be ranting and raving about Dillian White. No. You know what I'm saying? Nada. So now he wants to give the WBC welcome aboard. Yeah, I'm not retiring. I'm coming back. So whatever you need to do to cut that check, I'm here. So if you haven't heard, Tyson Fury is somewhat requesting an astronomical amount of money to fight for the undisputed. Granted, we can use our common sense and say logically, that's not going to happen. Monetarily, that ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Even a miracle, that's not going to happen. But he will get paid. I'm pretty sure him and Oleksandr Usyk will get paid pretty nicely. Look, I'm looking at Tyson Fury probably getting 100 million easily, or just below 100 million. He's going to get close to it because this is huge. You know what I'm saying? This goes down in the boxing annal. This is history when it comes down to the heavyweight division and in boxing in general. This is big, y'all. This is ginormous, as they call it. I know a lot of people are not gonna really step up to it and show its respect because, you know what I'm saying, of where the belts are being held right now. But I really have no sense of empathy for those individuals who was sitting up here wishing for the downfall of Deontay Wilder to lose his title when he was reigning. Now that you have Tyson Fury, a known drug cheat, a person who was provided the opportunity to come back, and he maximized his advantage by going in there winning the belt. Now he's about to go in there with the fighter who seemingly has did everything right in Oleksandr Usyk. You know what I'm saying? His advancement from the cruiserweight division up to the heavyweight division, fighting Chase Witherspoon, then Derek Chisora, having a little shaky performance there with Chisora, but then went in there with Joshua and got it done. You feel me? He got that shit done. Not only did he get it done, he returned in a rematch and got it done. Now he has the opportunity and the window is wide open for him to go over here and face Tyson Fury. This is such a huge money fight and is very historical when it comes to the sport. Tyson Fury has now put his name in the hat and say, I'll be here. I'm ready to go. Let's make the fight. So, when it comes down to where the fight's going to be held, of course, the last time we checked and received the news is that Tyson Fury wasn't allowed on U.S. grounds. So it's probably going to be over there across the pond in a place where that footprint was, previously without a license for Tyson Fury. They have restricted his license over there and that boxing footprint too. But you know, to the magnitude of this fight, they're gonna make it happen one way or the other. It's people that's about to get paid. This is about to go down in history. I'm not sure if I see a rivalry blossoming between these two. I don't think I see a rivalry like Deontay Wilder Fury. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I'm not saying it can't be a rivalry. It's all about how good Usyk looks in the first fight. If Tyson Fury goes in there and pretty much mollywops him and make it so lopsided that people look at it like, no, we don't really want to see that again. Like, it's not like Usyk doesn't deserve a rematch. I'm not sure I want to see that shit again because it's just levels to this game sometime. And if Tyson Fury goes in there and make it look like it's alphabetically in unison, A, B, C, D, it's simple as that. People's going to say, hell no, we don't want to see that fight no more. Then it's going to have to be somebody else. Now Tyson Fury has to look at it like, okay, you know, if he wins, of course, he's undisputed. What is he going to do with the titles? Vacate? If he vacates, that means it opens up the floodgates for other heavyweight fighters to have their opportunity to fight for a strap. You know what I'm saying? Because the titles have been tied up for years. You know what I'm saying? Deontay had the WBC title and then Tyson Fury. And then you look at the unified titles. Anthony Joshua was wearing that suit. You know what I'm saying? They dressed him up real nice with a bow tie, handkerchief. I mean, he was looking real snazzy. For real. Eddie Hearns had him walking that red carpet, and he was looking real good. He can do no wrong. But people always felt like Anthony Joshua, per the paperwork, you know what I'm saying? He was a paper champion. They felt like he always had that perimeter that was secured pretty nice and tight by Eddie Hearns. But make no mistake about it. When you look at the panoptic view of Anthony Joshua's resume, he's been in there with the who's who of the heavyweight division. You're going to scratch your goddamn head. You're going to say, what the fuck? I mean, goddamn, Joshua, you know, he's fought this. He's been in there with the who's who of the heavyweight division, bro. But he hasn't been in there with the likes of a Tyson Fury nor Deontay Wilder. He hasn't been in there with the likes of a Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's plenty of other fighters that are considered top-notch fighters we haven't seen Anthony Joshua compete against. But what we do know is he's out of the equation right now. And we have Oleksandr Usyk, who, in my opinion, is going to be in for a hell of a fight. I'm just really hoping that Tyson Fury is not too much out of shape. And he comes in and really makes it entertaining. Seriously. It's not a difficult decision for me to go against Fury. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling for Oleksandr Usyk, period. I'm pulling for Oleksandr Usyk. I'm just gonna tell you right off the rig. I'm pulling for Usyk. Because if Usyk gets the belts, then it potentially set up a future fight with Deontay Wilder possibly, or you know, some other heavyweights. But I really don't want to see Deontay fight Tyson Fury or anybody talk about a fourth one. I don't think it's something that the fight fans will gravitate to if it did present itself. I don't think so. I just want to see a new refreshing pair of fighters to try to build up some type of rivalry between one another, whoever that may be. You know, whoever that may be. Seriously. If it's Andy Ruiz, who's been on the championship level, okay. You know what I'm saying? You still had Joe Joyce out there. Joseph Parker's been on the championship level before he lost his strap to Anthony Joshua. You have Daniel Dubois, this current reigning defending WBA regular champion. You know, he can make a move one way or the other. You know, and you have the names like Dillian White, who's been there, done that, Derek Chisora. But these guys have multiple defeats on their resume. And you have the lone one himself, Anthony Joshua, who's been at the championship level for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the people are yearning for him to step back in there against Usyk. I think they more so want to push him off on a first fight with Wilder because it should have happened years ago. You know what I'm saying? It should have happened years ago. So they want to see that go down the way it goes down. But the money fight is definitely with the belts in this equation. The money fights is definitely with the motherfucking belts. That is Usyk Fury. So if we're able to get the undisputed, assuming, let's just say it's a rematch clause in there, that's going to take away everything as far as the time frame go. You know, they do the first one, they have a rematch in there, they go for a second one. Like I said, we can't be selfish and say, oh man, I don't want to see no second fight. We can't be selfish because, you know, Wilder Fury fought 3 times. Even when they was trying to deny Wilder to come back for a trilogy, it was contractually binded. The ink had dried and they had to honor that. They had no other choice but to honor it. While Eddie Hearns is out here telling people that Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua was going down in August. No, that's not the case. Chad Perez on deck. Salute to you. Holding it down. Salute WCS. Salute to you, bro. So that's where we at with that situation. Okay. You know, it's going down whether you like it or not. Tyson Fury holds the belts. You feel me? He isn't going anywhere. At one point in time, yeah, it was absolutely disdain for this cheater. He will always be looked at as a cheater. I've had the opportunity to see this man in person. You know, he's a different breed of a man, period. It's just a lot that Tyson Fury don't give a fuck about. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot that he don't care what you think about him. He doesn't care. But at the end of the day, he is the reigning defending. He is the reigning defending, period. There's no way around that. He is the reigning defending. Let's talk about the Devin Haney situation. All right. Word was released that Devin Haney relinquishes in a healthier term. Ring Magazine title after not making their pound for pound list. Now, of course, let me share screen with my audience, right? Let me share screen with you on this Friday. If you're in the building and you're getting ready, you got big plans, you know, just hit that like button, man. I know you're feeling good. You know what I'm saying? You're getting right. Those of you that's already out, you know what I'm saying, might be a happy hour already. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button for me. Let's go to the ring ratings. All right. Let's go to the ring ratings, y'all. Rank number 1 is Oleksandr Usyk. Number 2 is Naoya Inoue. Number 3 is the pound for pound best, Terrence Bud Crawford. Number 4 is Errol Spence Jr. Number 5, per the ring, is Canelo Alvarez. Number 6 is Vasili Lomachenko. Number 7 is Dimitri Bivol. Number 8 is Josh Taylor. Number 9 is Jamel Charlo. And number 10 is Artur Beterbiev. All right. Now, this is the method for which the controversy has been ignited. All right. You understand? This fighter right here, Vasili Lomachenko. I feel that for a long time now, this fighter has somewhat defrauded a little bit of integrity that boxing does have. And listen to what I'm telling you before y'all jump and start running crazy into traffic. You know what I'm saying? With your eyes closed and your hand behind your back. Listen to me when I say this, right? Lomachenko's a good dude, bro. You know, I met him in person. He's a good dude. But also you have to attach a bit of disingenuous type behavior or posturing by Lomachenko even before he became professional. The fact that he fought professional fights, but yet he wanted to enter the professional ranks when his fights to now, you know, since he wanted to enter professional ranks and have them record his fights when they believe he was perfect, to come in here and try to set that record of winning the championship in his second professional fight. It didn't work out that way. And I'm pretty sure Orlando Salido and his team understood what Lomachenko was trying to do. They probably look at it like, man, that's disrespectful, man. What are you doing? I mean, you basically was in the Olympics fighting boys. You know what I'm saying? You overstayed your welcome, and you try to come over here and fake the funk to us as if you're about to set some records when it truly wasn't your second professional fight. You just want to make it seem like that to the temporaries that it was. Moving forward in his career, let's just be honest, man. Let's take away Richard Comey, take away Masayoshi Nakatani. Let's take that away. We was really looking at his record. People want to say, Gary Russell. Okay, Gary Russell Jr. came down in weight. And also, you have to look at, was Gary Russell reigning defending? They fought for a vacant title. So let's not jump up and click our heels for that. Right? You have to look at Lomachenko's record and say to yourself, is it so outstanding that it warrants all this attention for Lomachenko to be on the pound for pound list without any belts? Does his resume stick out? Does his resume highlight? Does it shine like a star for him to still be holding a resident on the Ring Magazine pound for pound list? My answer to you is hell no. Hell no. It's a lot more that's going on internally that people are somewhat showing blatant bias to keep Lomachenko in this sixth position. You know what I'm saying? To keep him in front of Dmitry Bivol. You know what I'm saying? To keep this man in front of Dmitry Bivol when Bivol has stepped in there and fought a high caliber fighter from a lower division. But let's not forget, Canelo did fight at his division, the 175 pound light heavyweight. He did contend there before. So it wasn't like a Mikey Garcia moving up. It wasn't like a Conor McGregor not having any fights. No, that wasn't the case. So you have to give him that credential and that badge of honor that Bivol deserves some respect on his name. Josh Taylor. Man, come on now. When it was time for Lomachenko to unify the entire lightweight division, what did he do? This man was up here. Mauricio, I'm not fighting for the rest of the year. So whatever you have to do, make it happen. Mauricio says, sure. You know, Canelo was the first franchise champion. And guess who I'm going to designate as the second one? You. It's the perfect timing. It'll pretty much separate you and from having any mandatories, because we're going to elevate you as the second franchise title holder. And then we're pretty much going to screw over Devin Haney in the process, because he's looking forward to trying to fight for that WBC title and get a shot at you there, High Tech. But we're going to hit him with the low check. You know what I'm saying? Okay, High Tech, we're going to hit Devin with the low check. So instead of Devin fighting for a title eliminator, he fought for an interim title. Once again, fraud. Once again, Lomachenko frauding people, y'all. I'm telling you. Josh Taylor won that shit, man. He unified. He became undisputed. Lomachenko has not. He had one more belt to get. He had one more freaking belt after all that shit with the franchise title. He had that IBF title awaiting, and he couldn't get it done. Period. Jermell Charlo, undisputed. Something Lomachenko has not been able to get accomplished. Hold on for a second. Okay, we back. Let me get to this live chat. Get the smoke on deck. Salute to you, Smoke. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw on deck. Peace to get at the Smoke. Stay out them buyers, debaters leagues. Man, you know, Smoke should know better from that one example. You know what I'm saying? You did your thing, man. But they it was out. It was already fixed. You wasn't gonna win, dog. I'm back in the lines then next week debating this very topic with knockout. Okay, for sure, man. Good luck with that. Showtime said Gary Russell Jr. weight drain an hour next day, scored a knockdown that wasn't counted and lost a split decision. But they hey, what do I know? Yes, sir. So let's get back to this. And good points by y'all. Good points, right? So let's get back to this Devin Haney situation where, you know, incomparable to why he's mad, right? Comparable to why he's mad, the reasons behind why he feel the way he do. And yeah, we can bring into the conversation that he is a black fighter, okay? But we cannot place that race card up for discussion as leverage. We cannot admit it as evidence as to why this decision is the way it is, why the display of the pound for pound rankings have Devin Haney absent when he is undisputed, absolutely undisputed. Now it comes into play, since we have other black fighters on the pound for pound list, you cannot single him out as if he was profiled and say, this has something to do with racism. It absolutely doesn't. Now, it might have something to do with dislike. It might have something to do with someone being considered unfavorable in the eye of whoever is making these choices behind the scene. It may be some individuals that just don't like Team Haney. It may not like Devin Haney. Who knows what the freaking criteria is based off of when it comes to why they didn't select this man to hold resident on the pound for pound, the ring pound for pound. But let's get back to the biggest question, right? If you look at this entire the entire list of 10 fighters who are ranked pound for pound on the ring, the only one at this point in time to be without a world title in his possession, just anything, lineal anything in his possession, is Vasili Lomachenko. And it's very discouraging that a lot more people are not seeing it in a way to basically point the finger and basically tell Lomachenko, dude, why don't you request to have your name removed off this ring pound for pound list? It ain't right. It's not serving you right in any way, shape, or form. It's not justifiable for you to be on this list, period, Vasili. You're going to lose fans being on here. You don't have a title, man. It just seems like you have someone, probably from your homeland or somewhere, someone that has favoritism towards you, that is absolutely infatuated with what you've been able to accomplish in your career. And even then, from the Olympics over to the professional, it just seems like they hold you as such a high standard that they refuse to have you absent when you don't have no championship straps in your possession. They refuse to remove you, man. It's bias to the fourth power when it comes to Vasili Lomachenko. Now, for Devin Haney, this is my situation with him. Him vacating, sending a message to the ring that I'm gonna vacate this shit because you're not putting me on the pound for pound list. Does Devin Haney have a viable reason to be upset? Is it justified? Absolutely, 1000%. Devin Haney has a reason to be upset, disappointed, discouraged, angry. Yes, he should be all of that. Disgruntled, belligerent, cantankerous. Yes, all of that. Look, it's no excuse that should be given as to someone sitting up here trying to tell Devin, cool, chill. Listen. It's going to be okay, man. This is your first division. You won the titles. Don't do it to yourself. Don't give up the belt. I'm all about, just being reasonable. I'm all about that shit because it takes a careful process to just, listen, sponge it, take it all in. Just think, process it all. Just think, just relax instead of being impulsive, right? But in this situation, I cannot tell Devin Haney that you're overdoing it. You're overstepping your boundary. I can't do that. Why? Because it's disrespectful that he's not on the list. It's disrespectful. Point blank, period. Point blank, period is personal. Point, period. Him not being on this ring pound for pound list is personal. It's personal. Because just think about Teofimo Lopez when he defeated Lomachenko. Teofimo was basically thrust into the damn pound for pound list. No ifs, ands, or buts. People was like, you know what? Lomachenko deserved that shit, man. He defeated Lomachenko. He deserved that spot. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No dilemma. No debate. People weren't chewing off the motherfucking fingertips. I'm just confused, man. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. God damn it. Why Teofimo was on? No, none of that shit was going on because he had beat Vasili Lomachenko. Now, since then, Lomachenko has not, because the titles have been tied up, he has not been able to be provided that opportunity where he was successful enough in answering the bell to fight for the titles again. He hasn't. But they're trying their best to get him back into the ring, hopefully, and wishing that Devin Haney, the lightweight undisputed, will go back over here and check this out. How I'm gonna spread the gravy over the mashed potatoes is that Lomachenko is once again in a position where he's hoping Devin Haney comes from over there, the champion again, and to potentially set up a fight between himself and Devin Haney. Just because people would like to see Lomachenko and Haney rather than Kambosos and Lomachenko. Because a lot of us feels that Lomachenko will finally get his end prize of becoming unified undisputed. And it'll be a wash. It'll be a total wash if he step in there with Kambosos. They feel it'd be a much tougher fight if it was Haney. But peep this out. Lomachenko is pretty much in the same position that he was when Teofimo Lopez had the belts. Lomachenko caught himself facing Nakatani after Nakatani had been damaged. He got the win over Nakatani. He went in there. He was all theatrical with Richard Comey, telling the corner, stop the fight and all this stuff. Man, stop it, Lomachenko. Stop it, bro. Stop it, man. At the end of the day, you haven't been able to push to 20 wins yet. Are you even at 15 wins yet? I mean, come on, man. Teofimo Lopez has surpassed you in freaking professional victories, hasn't he? I mean, damn. Like, you have put on a show. Like, he was fighting Teofimo Lopez leftovers with the hope of earning another shot at Teo if he would have beat Kambosos, right? Then you turn back around. Listen to me when I tell you this shit. Now you're hoping and wishing and sitting back in the fray that Devin Haney will come over from over in Australia, still the champion, so he can fight you. Now the thing that's fucked up is that the news is broke, and they saying that Devin Haney dumps his Ring Magazine title. Now you have been depleted or deflated once again for earning the grand prize, because him getting rid of the ring because they didn't put him on the pound for pound list, it leaves Lomachenko looking stupid. Now back to Devin Haney. Does Devin Haney has 1,000% justification without any criticism? Is his people going to look at Haney as being entitled as the way he dumped those titles, and he's not holding in the spirit of a champion? You know what I'm saying? The spirit of a champion, and holding on to all his belts and proving that, hey, I can push past this. I can show them I'm the best. I'm going to stay champion. I'm going to make another big paycheck. Is it going to be some criticism from his own people? Should it be some criticism? That's the big question. Should it be some criticism from his own people or boxing fans that his decision should have been to keep the belts? And then you're going to have the other side is saying, well, should Devin Haney, should he have done what he did by getting rid of the belts? This is my take on it. Now, I don't have any type of side in this, real talk. I'm not leaning heavy towards any, I'm just giving my neutrality when it comes down to it. I'm dichotomizing the situation and I'm giving my point of view. And this is the way I think. They praise Muhammad Ali for being an activist and him standing up for things, right? More so a broader scale of being drafted in combat in the war back then. So it was much larger scale of him standing up for himself and not going over there to Vietnam and pretty much being stripped and also punished for that. Devin Haney's situation is pretty much reduced in nature when it comes to the severity of something that's just internal to boxing itself. Devin Haney's situation is not global. You know, it doesn't affect people globally. This is just a credential. This is just an accolade. This is pretty much a roster where fighters are rewarded by being a part, just like the 4-belt era on the Undisputed Champions. They can't deny Devin Haney that because he's achieved the shit. He's achieved the Undisputed. But what nothing been a fall for everything. Him standing up and taking this action, I'm gonna tell you without hesitation. Without hesitation. It may not seem pretty, but internally, as a man, feeling that you did what was right, yeah, it does. In my opinion, yeah. Because I think it's beyond atrocious at the end of the day that they pretty much overlooked him and then put him on the pound for pound list. What can be so fucking personal when it comes to boxing that you don't admit a fighter that is pretty much falling in line as a champion, and you have undisputed champions on your list? Right or wrong, you have undisputed champions on your list, bro. You have undisputed champions. Canelo Alvarez is super middleweight undisputed. At the time, Josh Taylor was undisputed. Jermell Charlo is reigning defending undisputed. And of course, Terrence Bud Crawford, he's just waiting his opportunity, and he will be undisputed for a second time too. But anyway, and also Oleksandr Usyk, he will potentially fight for undisputed. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have in a way, he holds all the belts except the WBO. He too is fighting later on this year, and he will be undisputed. But this guy right here, Lomachenko, you're in the shoot once again. What Devin Haney is doing is showing that I'm willing to stand up for myself, and I'm willing to pretty much not trying to prove to you anything. I'm just basically doing what I believe is right. I believe that I should be on the pound for pound list. So many others believe Haney should be on the pound for pound list, the ring pound for pound. And the reason why he ain't on there is what again? And then from what I'm understanding, that ring pretty much told him that he can USPS it. So disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. Let me get back over here and stop sharing. That's so freaking disrespectful, man. Real talk. That's so disrespectful. Surf Senior say they hate on black fighters. There are certain scenarios where we can say this has something to do with black fighters. But I cannot sit here and put my finger on it. I cannot honestly say that this is a conversation I'm having that is strictly deals with scrutinizing whether they profile Devin Haney for him being black. I can't do that. Senior, I can't. It's not something that I'm processing and I'm coming up with that answer, those results. You know what I'm saying? All the evidence that I'm trying to come up that leads to that is nothing out there to tell me. You know, I just can't go off boxing. You know, you have other black pound for pound fighters on the ring. They're there. And they're not, you know, they're not the most likable, some of those guys that's on there. Charlo is not the most likable. I'm pretty sure he's pissed off from people. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, he's tested dirty. You know what I'm saying? Josh Taylor, he's not even freaking undisputed anymore. But he was when he was on here. But I'm just asking, if the man has all the belts What's going to happen? I mean, what was supposed to happen after he picked up the belts? Like, what are we missing here? We need some type of paperwork. We need to hear from someone who they don't care. You know why they don't fucking care at the ring? Is because they're not considerably identified as a sanctioning body. They're not a sanctioning body. So do they really have to make a public announcement and answer the questions that we have for them? No. It's all about whoever they have in those group of people, whatever the number was, 2, 3, 4, 5, that we're all in favor. Are we going to vote this person, you know, on who should be pound for pound? This, you know, look over the list, scrub it down, whatever. I don't know how many people on the board, but what is the criteria for putting a fight on the ring? And why are they so mad at Devin when he has all the hardware? The man has all the hardware. He checks the boxes. He's standing up for himself. He said, I'm vacating to show you all that you're not going to control me. You know, you're not going to have me in desperation. I already been there, done that. And no one's going to sit up here and prove to me that Devin Haney didn't learn shit from signing that bullshit ass contract. Him and Bill learned something from that. They heard the chatter. They felt the embarrassment. They learned something from being in that position. And they're going to try their damnedest never to be in that position again, where they're going to take minuscule monetary pennies to go in there and fight in a bout on that magnitude, a showcase of that magnitude. This is not going to do it no more. So since they're not going to, you know, put themselves in that position again, what make you think they're gonna just be overlooked on the ring pound for pound list and brush it off and just jettison it as if it don't make a difference to them being a champion in boxing? It does make a difference because people pay attention to it. According to who you talk to, you know what I'm saying, in these debates, the ring pound for pound list don't fucking matter. But in this scenario, it does, because he has accomplished everything. He accomplished it. Period. You gonna is he being blackballed because it was Cambozo? Is he being blackballed because it was Cambozo? What is the determining factor as to why he cannot be a part of this list? Why isn't he on the roster? Someone, I'm asking you, please put the reason why you believe Devin Haney is being restricted from being an honorary member of the ring pound for pound list. What is it? What do you believe happened? What do you think, with everything he's been able to accomplish with the belts? We've seen it all play out in Australia. We've seen him dominate. Why isn't he selected to be a part of this company? For me, I can't say it's because he's black, as a black fighter. I can't say that. I can't say it. I cannot insert racism into this, all because it's Devin Haney and he's a black man like myself. I can't do it. What I want to do is try to find out some other type of evidence that will somehow bring us closer to justifying why this man is not even number 10. Not even number 10. But Beterbiev has 3 belts. He doesn't have 4. But Beterbiev have 3. He's just waiting for the WBA opportunity, you know, depending on who wins between Bivol and Ramirez. But like I said before, he completes the entire ring. All the 4 corners, Devin Haney has the hardware. From pillar to post, Haney has all the hardware. Why isn't he able to be appreciated enough and selected to be on the ring pound for pound. Somebody educate me, please. I'm a bit befuddled as to why this cannot display Devin Haney's name on here. I salute Devin for standing up. And one thing I didn't see on YouTube, I didn't see him, telling somebody, hey, grab that trash can for me. Grab this trash can. They want to play around. They want to be important. They want to shine. They think they're gonna stun on. They're gonna make an example. They're gonna make me the example by keeping me off the pound for pound when the world knows I am the reigning defending undisputed. Get that trash can. That's the only thing I didn't see. I didn't see the trash can come out. It takes a different level of freaking courage. I wouldn't even compare that to savagery. It takes a different level of courage to disrespect an organization like that when it comes to boxing. Even with Joshua picking up two of Usyk's belts and dumping them over the ropes, it takes a different level of courage to do that. But Devin Haney standing up for himself, standing up for his brand, standing up in what he honor, knowing damn well he's earned it. And he say, fuck him. I'm vacating. Whatever. I don't care. I have to commend him for that. Because it was certain decisions I made in the military that had repercussions behind it. But I felt it was right. I felt deep down inside it was justified, and I shouldn't go in here feeling guilty as if I made a mistake. Not, sometimes they always tell you every decision you make is not going to grab hold of the masses to come and praise you for that decision. Sometimes you got to make it alone, solo. You have to be the lone wolf to make that decision. It's not going to be ingratiated by everyone that you believe that should come praise you and pat you on the back. These is one of those situations that Haney is going to have to go through. Everybody's not going to pat him on the back for having a complete, total arrangement of all the belts, and then he get off the ring. He vacates the ring. Good on him. Good. Salute to him. Because we can't just sit up here and say, well, they should do this, they should do that, they should protest, they should do this, and this. And then when a situation comes up like this, when he should be on the pound for pound, but yet he isn't, and he does nothing. Nope. They learn from that shit. Let me break down the whole game. The Haneys have learned a lot in the last, several months. They've learned a lot. They learned a lot from the way Mauricio Suleiman shitted on them. They learned a lot from them trying to rename their belt. They learned a lot from receiving that title the way they did. You know what I'm saying? They learned a lot for people believe they totally blew their opportunity and going and facing Kambosos the first time. And then being provided a second opportunity, but yet with a contractual agreement that was reprehensible. So they're looking at all these areas that are all negative. They learn from that shit. Whether it's going to change them to be a bit more subservient, nah. I don't see that fucking happening. But they did learn from it. From being disrespected, from having the WBC title and not being recognized as somebody important in the lightweight division, to coming from behind, scratching and clawing, low crawling, to make themselves put themselves in a position where they can go over there and just have the opportunity to fight Kambosos for the titles. That happened. The monetary bar was very, very low. They didn't benefit the way they would like to. I'm talking about and being financially compensated. They wasn't able to do that, but they're now part of history. They learned from that shit. Just like they're learning right now on not being on the pound for pound. What should we do? We sat around and we stayed and stood out square in the WBC. We stood out square, and they still was shitting on us. You know what I'm saying? Then we come back around and we get the opportunity. We have to take pennies and crumbs, stale bread. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Get that done. We shine. Now we're dealing with the ring. The ring don't want to acknowledge us for what we've been able to accomplish. So what should we do now? We have to make a statement because people are getting very comfortable with walking on top of us, wiping their feet. So let's get the fuck out the ring and vacate that shit. And of course, ring, you know, they're gonna sit up here. We have no idea who it may be that's behind this voting process. But from my understanding, if they told them to USPS it, what you expect? They don't respect you already by not putting you on the pound for pound list. So what you think they're gonna say? Yeah, put it in a box and send it back to us, bro. USPS it. Real talk. Let me read you this article, man. Our bad left hook. Devin Haney put out a tweet, right? It say the Ring magazine could keep their belt. You won't see me with it before or after this fight. All right. And he gives a breakdown on Pedraza, Comey, and the Ring magazine pound for pound ranking, latest updates, and all that. And then Devin Haney goes on to say the youngest undisputed champ of the 4-belt era, and not even on the pound for pound list, is crazy, especially when guys who don't even hold the Ring magazine belt currently made the list. Get the fuck out of here. Now I must stay on my square too, that people need to understand that Teofimo Lopez, even though he had the franchise belt, people are gonna pick and choose on whether they want to, recognize him as being in the 4-belt era undisputed, whatever. But he was younger when he picked up the belts. Period. I know what Devin's talking about. Devin's talking about the 4-belt era from the WBC to the WBO and all that. I understand it, but Teofimo did it when he was younger. He was younger. That's fact. Getting back to Devin, once again, he said, "Get the fuck out of here." Hey, I don't have nothing bad to say about that at all. I don't have no retort to that. I don't, because he's in every right to feel the way he does about not being on the list. Real talk. Devin Haney sends out a tweet and say the youngest undisputed champion of the 4-belt era and not on the pound for pound list is crazy, especially when guys who don't even hold the Ring magazine belt currently made the list. Hey, should he feel some type of way? Absolutely. Bad Left Hook goes on to say it would appear that the magazine doesn't particularly hold Haney in as high esteem as Haney himself would Opay, and aren't weighing his win over George Kambosos Jr. as some radical achievement that should shoot him up the ranks. All I can say is that if Haney is frustrated by Ring's latest ratings, just wait until he gets a peek at the BLH new pound for pound ranking system. I can almost assure you he won't be the only one up in arms. This is crazy, man. Let me get to the chat. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. Showtime said, remember they call him the WBC Pride Champion. Disrespectful. Disrespectful. Absolutely. Isn't pound for pound an opinionated thing? It's subjective. People in the boxing community make this huge deal out of the pound for pound. It's a lot of areas that people make a big deal out of because it's good for conversation. Blunts and boxing, right? It's very, very good for educational purposes. A lot of things in boxing is subjective. When you talk about how good someone's opponent, when you're not the one in there touching gloves, is just opinions all over the place, scattered, bro. Like it's always going to be that way. That's boxing. But when you have a list like the pound for pound, it means something. If it meant something for Pacquiao, let's not dilute it when it comes, into this era when Pacquiao is in retirement and people try to downplay it and act like it doesn't matter. It's mattered for boxers in different eras to be recognized as some of the best to compete in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound has to be identified and respected as being legitimate. It has to. It's just getting to a point right now, like if we was used to seeing certain fighters on this pound for pound list for what they have been able to accomplish, then why isn't Devin Haney on there then? If he meets the criteria, you know what I'm saying? The visual criteria, the physical criteria. If he's meeting that criteria, why hasn't he been rewarded with his picture on there and a placing amongst the rankings? Whatever that placing may be. Whatever that placings may be. You know what I'm saying? Wherever that may be. Who was Teofimo Lopez before he beat Lomachenko? So pretty much, would Lomachenko move up a slot into number one if he would have defeated Teofimo Lopez on that night, who was coming off a win of Richard Comey? Would they have moved Lomachenko up a notch, or would he have sustained the second spot he was in? If we're really talking. If we're really truly talking, did Inoue get rewarded for picking up the WBC title from Nonito Donaire, who defeated Nordine Bali? Did he get rewarded? I mean, it's always going to be some freaking discrimination in there, some favoritism, some bias. But what's the standards now? How do you move up a notch? How do you slide, so to speak? How do you become a part of the sliding effect on the pound for pound list? What is the requirement? I'm curious. What is the requirement, man? Because we see people dip in, dip out, dip in, dip out on the pound for pound list. Big Blunts and Boxing say, do you think they did Devin that way because he never fought someone for the WBC belt that made him on the email champion? He was given the belt via email, then whitewash George for the rest of them. Now, peep this. Good question. Good question. Now, peep this out, though. If we're talking about who fought who. Now, that can go many ways down the line when you look at who fought who. Seriously. Artur Beterbiev. When did he make his attendance known? Off the WBO champion Joe Smith? Was he undefeated? Was Joe Smith undefeated when he lost to Beterbiev? I don't know, man. I just don't know what the criteria is about. What is the criteria for these guys being on the pound for pound list? You know what I'm saying? How is Lomachenko still there is the biggest question. Then look at Dimitri Bivol, who fought Canelo Alvarez, who doesn't hold a belt at light heavyweight, but he is undisputed at a lower weight class. Does Bivol get credit for fighting a fighter who's not even campaigning in his weight class? Does he get full credit on the pound for pound rankings just because he put Canelo on his resume in the green? What about Brian Castano? If we want to play this game of Devin Haney sitting up here defeating George Kambosos, who was nothing, what about Jamel Charlo? What about how he picked up his belts? You know what I'm saying? Was Jason Rosario this world beater who had a grand time picking up the belts? You know what I'm saying? Did he really get credit from a Jarrett Hurd defeating, a J-Rock defeating Jarrett Hurd? Losing to a Rosario, being stopped with a jab to the body, and then start to percolate? Do Jermell Charlo get credit from a Brian Castano who beat a Patrick Teixeira? Does he get credit for that shit? Patrick Teixeira. Does Jermell Charlo get credit for defeating Brian Castano in the rematch to become undisputed just because it was 2 fights in between them? Does he get credit for that shit? Who was Brian Castano at the end of the day? Who was he? Seriously, who was he, man? Let's not sit up here and big up in a way because he's a multi-time divisional champion in the lighter divisions. I get it. But a lot of people can't even name the fighter that he beat. And, you know, is it relevant to what he has going on in the pound for pound talk? Should he really be in the name? Do we really respect these lighter divisions where anyway it's just getting mad love now? Look, Donaire had already lost a decision to Monster. Had already lost. In between time, Donaire gets an opportunity to go next door, just like Sergey Daryanchenko did after he failed for the IBF twice. They give him the opportunity to go to the WBC, just like Sergey Daryanchenko did with Mauro Charlo. But the only difference is that Donaire was able to get it done against Abali. And then Monster, being that they just praised the shit out of him, say, Monster, do you want Donaire again? He has the WBC title, Monster. It's up to you. We're here to appease you, Monster. Let us know. See, hey, Dozo, I would like to fight Donaire, unify. Hey, Domarigatou gozaimasu. He said, yeah, thank you. I will take the fight. He goes in there and gets it done. Easy. Did he get rewarded for defeating Donaire? A fighter he had already beat? So we can't sit up here and play games. We can't play stupid games like Devin's being punished for fighting Kambosos, who defeated Teofimo, who defeated Lomachenko. We can't play those games, man. We can't do it, dog. We can't do it. We already know that Lomachenko had a loss already before Teo gave him his second. We already know that shit. But people look at Lomachenko. I guess they had that screenshot of when ESPN tried to erase that you know what I'm saying, that loss that Salido gave him because they felt, hey, they can do it. But Teofimo defeated Lomachenko. Kambosos defeated Teofimo, who defeated Lomachenko. Devin Haney defeated Kambosos, who defeated Teofimo, who defeated Lomachenko. But yet Devin Haney should be punished. Okay, I got it. I truly get it. It's bullshit. But that's a good question right there, man. You know, Big Blunts of Boxing. And we shouldn't be up here. And you notice I didn't mention how he received the belt, because it's fighters who receive those belts via email all the time. But he fought for the belt, man. Like, it's not like he didn't have no defenses. He fought. Most of the time, they allow these fighters to get one defense in. They have one good, successful defense in. Sometimes it's like that. I'm just looking at it though. Like, what happened with Yordenis Ugas? Is anybody going to lower the appraisal of Errol Spence on the way Yordenis Ugas received his WBA title? Huh? Are we going to do that? Are we going to devalue Errol Spence win over Yordenis Ugas? Or are we just going to keep on looking at how he punished him? Is anybody going to take a look at those belts? If you're not going to take a closer look on how Ugas received his WBA title, then we can't sit up here and scrutinize Devin Haney beat Kambosos. and then say, well, he did receive his title this way. That's long gone. We can't even bring that shit up like that no more. We can't be stupid. We can't play stupid like that and call ourselves hardcore boxing fans. We can't do that shit. That's fucked up. Y'all gonna keep on talking about it was email. I did call him out on email because his resume, wasn't up to par. It was mediocre, banal, insipid. It wasn't up to par. It wasn't anything that was grandiose. Now it is. Because you have to look at what he's been able to achieve. Showtime said, I believe that guy in NYC that helped them allegedly was taken care of. But what do I know? Them allegedly wasn't taken care of. So I kind of finally found out who that guy was. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we heard that about the guy over there in NYC. But I have to say it like this, Showtime. Somebody's pissed. Whether it's that guy or the other guy or some guy. It's more than one person that's pissed in this situation. Seriously, it's more than one person's pissed because we have to take it back just a little bit. Michael Jackson style moonwalk on this bitch. And we have to look at the contract they signed for the damn unification for the defense of the undisputed. You have to look at that. That was fucked up. The disrespect even before that with the title being called a pride title and all that other bull, that was disrespectful. Now you win the titles. You're supposed to be getting all these adulations and plaudits. What happened? People fucking you over. They don't even want to put you on the pound for pound list. Well, I guess it's important now because shit, it's about to be a debate. Smoke say he's about to debate knockout on this topic. So the pound for pound list must be of importance if people are going to discuss it in a manner for which let's debate. You feel me? Y'all stop sitting up here tripping, talking about the pound for pound don't mean shit. It does. I think to the black audience, we look at what Devin did and all his accomplishments. But the white audience look at it like, who did he fight? He's not as exciting. Muslim, maybe that's why, I don't know. It's plenty of Muslims in this sport. There's plenty of Muslims over here in this sport. Not just in boxing, but across the globe, period. Why would boxing, who allows a fighter to get out of jail, allow a fighter to be incarcerated for some of the most heinous, crimes, to not be considered a upstanding citizen, so to speak, or more so a mischievous scoundrel? Boxing allow those individuals to go to a gym, and then when it comes time for them, to do what they have to do professionally, they get approved for licenses. You don't have to have college credits for that shit. You don't have to have any prerequisites. No, you can just come and compete. So I know we can't be sitting here talking about, well, it can be Muslim or he's not exciting. It's a lot of fighters that's considered not to be exciting. A lot of them, man. A lot of fighters are considered not to be exciting, man. It just never stops. Everybody's not going to be entertained. It wasn't too long ago when Shakur Stevenson fight Toka Konklari and Nakathilia, they were saying, oh, he was overrated. He looked terrible. He wasn't entertaining. He might have the goods, but he'll never be able to sell out of arenas and shit. Who can say Devin Haney wasn't exciting when he went in there and defeated damn Kambosos easily? How can you say, honestly, how can you feel good about yourself to say, well, he went in there and he did what he's supposed to do with the sweet science of boxing and he dominated? Yeah, he don't have the power per se to go in there and give you a Tank Davis type of climax, right? But he dominated. Dominated, dog. And he's held accountable. You know, God blessed him with the ability to go in there and dominate the fuck out of Kambosos, man. Haney having the ring belt, but Loma making pound for pound, not Haney. They co-opted the lineal title while disrespecting the man that beat the man that beat the man who beat the man. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to this entire debacle, all we want to know is who's responsible, dog. Where are these people at? Because you know there is some confidentiality that's going on. Because, like I said, they're not sanctioning bodies, right? They're not the WBC, WBA, IBF, and the WBO. But we just want to be nosy a little bit and find out some more information about who is behind all this. Is it one person or more? That's all we want to know. We just want to know, who is it? Do they switch them out, or it's the same person or the same persons? Who are they? We just want to know. Is it somebody that's affiliated, like Showtime said, with the guy in New York? Does he have influence over this? Does it go across? Hey, is he somewhat in a status to be blackballed for a certain period of time? Because if that was the case, I think he would have lost in his bid in Australia. I think if the influence and they wanted to fix and they wanted to really, prove a point, I think he would have never got the titles. Seriously. I think his pops would have never been allowed to come over there if they wanted to prove a point. Now, granted, they might have had something to do with Bill delay, but they didn't prohibit. They prevented, but they didn't prohibit. He was still allowed access at the last minute to come over there, and then Devin still got the job done. So did someone have some type of freaking influence on hindering Bill from being over there on time? Hey, I don't know. I don't know, people. But good shit, Smoke. They told him to mail it back. I would tell them to get it off the curve where they kicked my recognition. Damn, Smoke going in. He said, I tell him to get it off the curve. If I'm not mistaken, if he did, do an act of kindness like that, they'll probably send out a civil lawsuit charging him an astounding price, for damaging their belt and somehow disappearing. If someone did, in fact, see that shit on the curve. Like someone to call Scotty. If I would have seen that shit, I would have goddamn picked that up. Yes, sir. I would have kept it. You know what I'm saying? All along while the lawsuit is going on, I would be like, we are handing out a reward to anybody who has any information on that ring title that was just sitting out on this particular curve right here. Right here. Hey, Ed, show the corner. Right there. That's what the title was. They say some vehicle sped up, snatched the title without even stopping the vehicle. What we do know, we're assuming it was a black male. Southern black male. I'm serious, dog. We're asking for any information on the whereabouts of this individual to get this title back. Now, reward has been offered of $56.20. Now, it will increase, but I'm just telling you where the reward amount is at right now as we speak. If we don't get it back by this time, we're just gonna, chalk it up, and we're just gonna, manufacture a new one. It doesn't matter. But let us know, man. Let us know. Why was the belt on the line if they thought Kambosos was unworthy of the title? Because look, they always talk about this, Smoke. This is where we have to kind of put the shade into play. Because Kambosos was fighting Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? They might have felt that Teofimo Lopez, who's getting the sponsorships, who does have a fan base, for real. He does have a fan base, a quite different of a fan base than the Haneys. Seriously. So they might have thought that Kambosos fighting Teofimo Lopez, he still had that stock value from Teo defeating Lomachenko. The stocks were still credible. They had value to them. But then, knowing that Kambosos was coming off 2 split decision, knowing that he wasn't anything special, even though he was undefeated, knowing that he was getting the opportunity of a lifetime because he was the IBF mandatory, that's where it stopped. Seriously. The reason why it stopped, Smoke, in my opinion, is that, documentation has basically buoyed itself on the surface. And the optimism is clear that Teofimo Lopez was feeling some type of health, problem, respiratory esophagus, a tear in his esophagus. Paperwork has made its way to the public. And now they're looking at it like, yeah, Kambosos beat a Teofimo Lopez who wasn't 100% healthy. So though they give him credit for defeating Teofimo Lopez, who defeat Lomachenko, when it comes to Devin Haney, they just look at it like, nah, none of that value is going to bleed over to you because Kambosos, yeah, he beat Teofimo Lopez, but he ain't did shit special either. He haven't even defended his titles successfully yet. Look, the jury never made it into the damn deliberation because they ain't trying to come up with a conclusion with Kambosos. He's just not entertaining. He's just haven't proven himself. He's coming off 2 split decisions. Yeah, he had the undefeated record, but no one was vouching for Kambosos. The most shine he ever got was leading up to the freaking Teofimo Lopez fight and his presser with Devin Haney. That's it. They could not give him full praise and value of beating Teofimo Lopez once the word hit the public that Teo had a health crisis. That's what broke it down. Because they feel like if Teo would have been healthy and looked the way he did when he stepped in there his last fight, he would have pretty much obliterated Kambosos. So now you take the stigma that has been placed with Devin Haney on not being an entertaining fighter, and you put him up against George Kambosos, who is an entertaining fighter at all. We don't give a fuck what happened with him, lightly dropping Teofimo Lopez in the first round of their fight. You take 2 of those fighters and match them up style for style, value for value, and people like, it's pretty much played out the way we thought, man. Like Devin Haney, he dominated, but a lot of people still want to hate on him and say he's not entertaining. He doesn't have power. It was no knockdowns. At least freaking Kambosos knocked down Teo. But guess what? George Kambosos didn't knock down Haney once. He wasn't even able to land that right hand on the first tick to the last tick. He wasn't able to do it. He never had the success he did against Teofimo Lopez. It's just a stigma that Devin Haney's going to have to shake off, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like monkeypox, man. I'm telling you, this shit is crucial right now for Haney. I'm telling you. I mean, they act like he contagious, man. They don't want to include him on nothing as if, they's like, fuck it, we're gonna keep you in the shade as much as possible. The Haney's gonna continue to have to, claw their way out for respect. Real talk. Because just look at it this way. The way he looked against Kambosos, it didn't even get, I'm talking about the chatter that you would expect on the YTC or across the boxing media waves in general. Nah, not even close. And I even been on record as saying this. I say, maybe they just waiting for the rematch. You know what I'm saying? No. Man, he went in there and made that shit easy, and then they want to make it seem like, oh, Devin, he expected. He's supposed to do that shit. Kambosos wasn't shit to begin with. He just had a lucky night against T.O. Now he gets exposed by Devin Haney. Who cares? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? But this is how I would imagine this. If Kambosos would have defeated Devin Haney in the first fight and there was no rematch clause, Kambosos would have been considered on a whole nother tier when it comes to what he's been able to accomplish in a short period of time. They would have boosted the shit out of Kambosos, man. They would say, oh shit. It would have been the Wilder effect all over again. They didn't give him no love and appreciation when he was reigning and defending, right? But let Kambosos would have defeated Devin Haney. Oh my God. They would have gave Devin Haney all that credit that would have been sitting on the shoulders like a robe when it came to Kambosos. Oh shit. Kambosos shocked the world. He defeats Devin Haney and has him his first loss. Who's seen this coming? They would have been up there. Oh my God. They would have serenaded the shit out of Kambosos. Because now it pretty much would have consummated a lot of what people wanted to happen. Those individuals who wanted to see Devin lose, they would have been able to see it happen, and they would have been happy it happened because now they can just move forward on another fight. You know, just like a lot of people want to see Fury fight Joshua, right? Well, in this case, they would have liked to see Kambosos fight Lomachenko because they know Lomachenko would have pretty much dusted Kambosos just like Devin Haney and became undisputed because the popularity scale is way higher when it comes to Lomachenko. Way higher. And once again, Kambosos would have benefited from the Uber ride. You know what I'm saying? He would have benefited from the Uber ride up to Lomachenko to sign that fight and fight, you know, in defense of his titles again. You know what I'm saying? That would have been the biggest fight. Now, take this for example. Him getting all the credit for giving Devin Haney his first loss. It would have all played in perfectly. But once again, like Kambosos did to Teofimo, it would have played the same way for Kambosos and Lomachenko. People would have treated this fight as if it was the new becoming of the lightweight division. They would have gave you one of the most perfect promos that you ever could have imagined. The rise, the emperor, the Australian emperor, George Kambosos, defeating Teofimo Lopez, who defeated Lomachenko. And look, people, we rarely get to see an epic moment such as this in one of the toughest pugilist sports this world has ever seen. George Kambosos himself is now able to step into the square and fight the man himself that Teofimo defeated. George Kambosos get to prove if he's truly the emperor of the lightweight division. He defeated T.O., who defeated Lomachenko, and now Kambosos has the opportunity to face Lomachenko himself. And they would have been hyping that shit up. Oh my God, this is going to be one of the best. The emperor, Kambosos, gets to face the one and only Vasili Lomachenko. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You know, they would have did this, man. They would have wrapped this shit up. God damn. They would have got their best writers, their best editors, videographers. They would have brought this shit into a whole nother level, y'all. My fault for getting off into a tangent, but I'm just seeing that shit play out with Kambosos defeating T.O., who defeated Lomachenko, and then Devin Haney ain't considered the entertaining fighter, but yet if he would have lost, they would have boosted Kambosos up to the highest point of boxing idolatry, y'all. They would have put him in the pantheon, period. They would have said, God damn it, cash your hand tonight. We have people coming by. We're going to get your hand casted tonight. Thank you. Then he would have took the Devin Haney win and go in there for Lomachenko. Nope. Devin shut that shit down. Gone. Oh, Smoke is going to debate whether Teofimo. Look, check this out. Check this out. Y'all can say that T.O. wasn't. It's going to come a time and point when the other sanctioning bodies recognize, and they're going to go back in time. They're gonna roll it back. Their Smoke. And they're going to roll it back and say, well, the first one, and T.O. is going to be the first in the franchise era, right? My take on it, and why I held in my square on Undisputed, just like everything else, Mauricio Suleiman. Mauricio Suleiman is putting this title out here, and he pretty much tried to make an example of Devin Haney from putting that franchise title out there. Yeah. Think about that, Smoke. Mauricio Suleiman tried to make an example in the lightweight division by elevating Lomachenko and absolutely devaluing any type of merit that WBC championship had, not in boxing, but only in the lightweight division. Every other division, the WBC title was grand. That shit was coveted, but not Devin Haney's title. That shit was garbage. That's what Mauricio Suleiman was doing. So since he was trying to elevate the franchise championship and make it valid, even though the other sanctioning bodies is not recognized, guess what? I was saying, hey, that's Mauricio's fault. That's Mauricio's fault. He's trying to talk about who's superior, this, that, and the other. Teofimo was undisputed. All because of Mauricio's inserting the franchise champion into the equation. He started with Canelo, who didn't have to petition anybody. Then came Lomachenko. Then became Teofimo. Then came Kambosos. Hey, then became Juan Francisco Estrada. It's only a matter of time before they push another franchise belt on somebody. But I get, every time I say T.O. was undisputed, T.O. was never undisputed. Let's get that clear, okay? Okay? We're not going to go down this road. Hey, you can pull up. We can debate this. I'm put up a poll, okay? I swear to God, it never ends, man. Why was the belt on the line if they thought Kambosos was unworthy of the title? Is a good question. Thanks for elaborating on my question, OG. No problem, man. No, ESJ is internet favorite. Man, you know how that is, right? I was just pretty much talking about EJ isn't as popular as Lomachenko. I that's what I believe. That's Showtime. EJ is not as popular as Lomachenko because Lomachenko is sitting his ass up on a pound for pound with no damn belt. The man gets a home welcome with luggage. It's like he just came from goddamn Dubai, Bahamas, the Bermuda Triangle. You know what I'm saying? There, like he disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, and all of a sudden he showed his face. Oh God, get the red carpet! Hurry! Get the finest champagne! Hurry! Vasili Lomachenko is here. Seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing Bill. I seen Bill on the live. It was hilarious. Bill said, "What war? The war's still going on. What war?" That shit was hilarious, dog. Hey, man. Hey, dog. I can't say I wasn't on the same sheet of music that Bill was on. Me being in the military, I told y'all, He was a part of security detail. That doesn't mean he was seeing action. Okay, you can be a part of the security detail, and Lomachenko's situation, he's very valuable. He could have been on security detail that was inside the fob. If you inside the fob, all you're doing is just like driving around in the city. That's where Garrison is. That's where you're inside the perimeter. You're inside the fob. Now, if he was on security detail outside the fob, like when they open that gate and you on a convoy and your protection is back there inside the fob, now you're in enemy territory, that's different. But, you know, when I seen him, his camouflage look pristine. He had the rifle, you know, strung on his back. I didn't see any magazine. I really didn't see any type of ammo, as if the weapon could have been in condition 1 for the ready in case they was under attack. I just didn't see any type of residue, you know, from him low crawling or trying to, you know, just what you're used to seeing over there. He looked clean, man. He looked good for a photo shoot. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying? But the people are going to praise him no matter what, man. Are they making them pound for pound decisions because they're trying to appease the audience to ensure a certain viewership when they put on these events? Somehow I feel like it's deeper than people think. It's great you say that, right? Because I have felt that way. Damn good point. You know, digging a little bit deeper with your analytics. You know what I'm saying? So peep this out what Big Bunks and Boxers is talking about. Now, the brother has a point in saying that it seems like the pound for pound will keep certain fighters and maneuver them, you know, like it's chess, you know, maneuver them in certain positions to build up a hyper fight, i.e. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Majority of the time they've been on the pound for pound list, they have never been shoulder to shoulder until these talks became extremely relevant. I do agree there is some type of agenda to the pound for pound list. I do believe there is an end state. There is some type of planning process where they are trying to provide some extra needed attention to these fighters being on the pound for pound list, if by chance they are fighting somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It all depends, because a long time on the pound for pound list, it wasn't too many fighters on there that was in the same division. Seriously, for a long time, you couldn't find it. You know, you see Errol Spence and you see Terrence Crawford. For a long time, that was the way it is. And then you've seen the lightweight division. You've seen Vasili Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, you've seen that shit, you know? But what about when it comes to heavyweights? We didn't really see any type of traction happen with the heavyweight division until Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder. Yeah, the same Deontay Wilder, they were saying there wasn't anything as of value, but when Tyson Fury defeated him, oh, they wanted to toss him on freaking pound for pound list and shit. Real talk. We rarely see fighters in the same division that's on the pound for pound list. What about the 154 pound? Who was campaigning 154 pound on the pound for pound list with Jamel Charlo? Nope. What happened for Dimitri Bivol to get put on the pound for pound list? He had to fight a fighter from a lower weight class. Yep. How did Artur Beterbiev get up there? He was already unified, right? So he picked, look, check this out. This is how the shit works. And this is how it, you know, Big Bunks and Boxing comment has a lot to it, though. It has a lot of areas. You know, it's almost like a kaleidoscope. It's a lot moving. Bivol defeats Canelo, right? And he's not picking up any belts. It wasn't like the Sugar Ray Lenon type of deal, okay? It was more so like when you look at Beterbiev, he was fighting for another strap to pick up his third from Joe Smith, right? But then he gets thrust into the bottom half of the pound for pound list for just defeating somebody in his weight class. But Dimitri Bivol gets rewarded for defeating a guy that was on the pound for pound list. So what's the criteria? You're going to give Bivol credit for defeating Canelo, who's on the pound for pound list, even though he was fighting outside his weight class at the moment? Not saying he never fought at 175. He was fighting outside his weight class. Then you look at Beterbiev, who defeated Joe Smith. He gets rewarded just for doing what he's supposed to and unifying the light heavyweight division. The criteria isn't consistent. It truly isn't consistent, because Lomachenko, we don't know why the fuck he's up there. Josh Taylor's rewarded for fighting someone in his division. Errol Spencer's rewarded for fighting somebody in his division. Terrence Crawford is rewarded for all his accolades and what he's been able to accomplish in undisputed and what he's been able to accomplish at welterweight. It's a cumulative thing. The same with Inoue. Inoue been on the pound for pound list long before he defeated Donaire. He's been on the pound for pound list. And then how easy was it for Oleksandr Usyk to move up from cruiserweight and get put in the pound for pound picture? We're talking about a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight, getting put on the pound for pound list while he's scheduled to fight Chase Witherspoon. Why he's scheduled to fight Derek Chisora. No one questioned that. All they talking about, Oleksandr Usyk, former cruiserweight undisputed champion, Oleksandr Usyk. He earned it. Don't you dare deny it. Don't you dare. Off with your head. It wasn't nobody trying to deny that shit. What is the criteria, bro? Because now we have a situation. We have two light heavyweights up here. Ooh, wait. You know what I'm saying? We have two light heavyweights up here. And then, of course, we have those two welterweights that we've gotten familiar with. That's been up here for quite some time. And they themselves have finally been shoulder to shoulder. Is that part of building up the fight with Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, like Big Buns and Boxer was saying? Is that an agenda behind moving them? Because they never used to be this close. It was either one or two fighters. I think about one fighter in between Bud and Spence. Now it's not like that. Since the talk has been going on, they're 3-4. Wow. Imagine that. So, I kind of agree with the brother. I think it is some type of hidden, motives or in certain criteria to kind of build up the interest and get more people to tune in to their content. Yeah. That's a damn good question, man. That's a damn good question. These lists generate conversation, but they just made a fighter vacate a belt. Wouldn't the action of vacating have a monetary response? Couldn't it draw people in or also turn people away? We're talking about Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Is it truly going to turn somebody away? Now that plays the fiddle, don't it? Like if they feel the way they do about Haney already and him vacating the belt, people are not going to really get close to it and want to cry out and protest. They're not going to do it, man. They're not going to be extremely vocal and saying, "Oh, that's fucked up. You force him to freaking." That's not going to happen. They're clapping their hands for the people who don't like him. They're going to say, "Oh, he's just a spoiled little baby. He never really had it hard. His dad gave him everything he wanted. So be it, blah, blah, blah." I'm serious, man. I don't think it's going to be people that's just totally upset at the situation. They might feel some type of way, but they're not totally upset. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as people, it generate an increase amount of volume for people who looking at it like, oh man, let me see what this is about. Like I say before, man, when it comes down to the pound for pound list, it has to do with the fighters that's generating that type of attention. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, real talk, the fighters that's generating that much attention on pound for pound is Crawford Spence, period. Hands down, point blank, period. Crawford Spence. It's not Canelo Triple G. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, Triple G was that same dude that was hanging out on the pound for pound list. Triple G. He was hanging out on the pound for pound list. And from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, he was on here at one point in time with no belt. But they had Triple G on the pound for pound list too, just hanging out, chilling. You see, he ain't up there, right? Why isn't Triple G up there? That's another thing for Big Blunts and Boxing question, right? When he talk about to appease the audience to ensure a certain viewership. What happened to Triple G? He's about to step in there. He's the IBF and WBA unified middleweight champion. Why isn't Triple G on the list? He's about to step in there with the cash cow. Where's he? Did they sacrifice, or they just say, you know what? We'd rather have Lomachenko up here and rather instead of Triple G. But Triple G actually has 2 belts. He's unified at the middleweight division. So why, if they're trying to basically attract viewership, I guess they ran out of room. Seriously. Because Triple G ain't did too much special off defeating Yola Murata, who was out of the sport for motherfucking 10 years. Like, goddamn. That's what you call the closet division right there. With one hanger in that bitch. That's what the middleweight division was. So I'm kind of glad that Triple G is off the list. And they didn't give him credit for unifying with Yola Murata. But then you have to ask yourself, why Lomachenko is still on the list? Why? And then you have to look at the way for which I mentioned with Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev on how they both got on the list. How did they both make it to the list? Bivol was rewarded for Canelo on his resume, and Beterbiev was rewarded for picking up a 3rd strap from Joe Smith. 2 different sequences there, right? But they're not the same. They're far from being the same, y'all. The U.S. could it draw people in or also turn them away? And I go back to this right here. If we're talking about, people that's behind the scene making these choices to put whoever they want on the list and switch them up and change them out whenever they feel like it, they don't give a fuck about what us, the viewers, are listening, or saying about them. They don't care. They don't care. They'll move around, flip-flop, switch names, shift them. Like you said, it's a reason why all of this is going on. They understand the reason why. Do they give a damn? No. Do they care if it's not consistent with someone else that's in the division? They don't care. Because not too many times you have fighters that are hanging out that's campaigning in the same division. You rarely have that shit. All I'm saying is I'm very curious as to what it's going to take for Shakur Stevenson to make the pound for pound list. I'm just curious. I'm curious because it's going to come down to it where they can't deny this man. And the debate, and y'all can debate this too. Debate is going to be, now that we know that Hector Garcia want to unify with Shakur Stevenson, right? Let's just say Shakur Stevenson unifies with Hector Garcia and he becomes the WBC, WBA, and WBO junior lightweight champion. 2 divisions, right? Debate gonna end up talking. The debate topics is Errol Spencer's gonna have to, he's sitting at the top. We're gonna have to have a debate on, who should be in what slot. Because I'm not saying everybody on there had multiple divisions. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's gonna come upon a time that Shakur Stevenson getting on that pound for pound list is gonna be up for debate too. Seriously. Because if you look at 1, if you look at number 2, and you look at number 3, multi-division champions on the pound for pound list. There's no doubt about it. When you get to number 4, a single division. You get to number 5, multiple divisions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You get to number 6, even though he don't have a goddamn strap, multiple divisions. And then it starts to get a little fuzzy. You get Bivol, Taylor. It didn't used to be that way. You get Bivol because they had Juan Estrada on this bitch too. You get Bivol, you get Taylor. You know what I'm saying? You get Charlo, who chose not to move up yet. Then it gets a little fuzzy on the back end. But I'm telling you, the top 5, most of them cats always have multiple divisions. Most of them, besides Errol Spence. And most of the time, a long time, Errol Spence was just outside top 5 or at 5. You feel me? So shout out for him and his popularity. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of them cats like Crawford, in a way, Usyk, you know what I'm saying? They're multi-division champions, man. They have multiple titles. You know what I'm saying? Usyk has been undisputed. Crawford's been undisputed. In a way, it's about to be undisputed. Canelo, undisputed. Trick in the building. What's good with the Trick? T.O. was undisputed, man. They don't want to show my guy T.O. love, man. T.O. was freaking undisputed, dog. They just want to keep on saying he wasn't. But yet, they don't never bring into the equation, Big Blunts and Boxing, that Kambosos was the same dude. They're not holding any penalties to Kambosos now. But Kambosos was the same dude who was criticizing, especially down here in the A. He was saying that, Mike, you're not undisputed, Mike. You lie. You're not truthful to the people. You're not undisputed. Time he gets his win, Kambosos runs straight to IG or tell his PR, change it. Change it, I tell you. Change it. He told them to change his motherfucking IG title to undisputed, dog. I cannot make this shit up. Kambosos told them to change his IG to undisputed. Undisputed, y'all. Immediately. Oh my God. Effective immediately, dog. Seriously, man. That shit's crazy. Always wait till the end, man. Y'all want to, drop through, cool. Or whatever, man. I got a little time. It's Friday, man. It's like 6 going on 6:15 p.m. Prime Minister time. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not gonna talk too much more on that KSI shit. But more so, I wanted to kind of talk about the Tank Garcia situation. I told you how Ryan Garcia was acting, how he was trying to be more friendly. He wanted to bet Errol Spence 20 stacks and shit. And I was saying to myself, man, I really didn't want to go into detail, but it seems like, once again, motives, hidden agendas. It seemed like Ryan Garcia was trying to appease to the culture. He was trying to appease to the black fight fans, y'all. Just take a look at it. This is the guy who was on Mike Tyson's podcast in a black and white tuxedo-like suit, being the good guy. Now all of a sudden he want to switch up and get the chain made, and then he want to show up to the presser dripping and freaking dressed down, dressing like the black fighters. I say, why such the push? Now I'm looking at the Errol Spence situation as being scripted. I really did, because he want to go up there with Danny Garcia and Errol Spence and try to bet him 20 grand on Rolly. To what? To appease to the black fight fans that you want to throw away some money? Come on, bro. To now potentially Gervonta Davis coming down to the A, and Ryan Garcia trying to appease the black fight fans. So they might be trying to bring Ryan Garcia down here to the A to fight Gervonta Davis. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's possibly. I don't know. I'm not confirming or denying it. I'm just saying this may potentially be that. Seriously, that may be it. I don't know, man. I'm still curious about that shit. I'm still curious. What's going on, Trick? How you feeling, bro? Salute the Trick in the building. Say salute WCS in the chat, man. Salute to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But I think that fight may be going down, y'all. I seriously think that fight is going to be going down. I really, really do. I think that fight may be coming down to the A. And that's why Ryan Garcia knows that he's coming to Black Hollywood, dog. He's trying to get the drip. Dog, it takes more than that. It takes more than that, bro, for you just to get a chain and start acting like you have some freaking rhythm and motion. like dude, like what they used to say, like now you have swag. Now you blended into the culture, and you're turning the corner, and you're trying to attract more black fight fans. Come on, it takes more than a chain, dog. Real talk. It takes more than a chain there, Ryan. Come on, bro. Ryan need to go the fuck on somewhere, going down at that weight, catch weight. Hey, man, that just goes to show you he's all over the place, man. He should be able to be forced to make 135, period. He should be made, but Ryan wants the recognition like Rolly. Rolly tells the people that ever since he was knocked out by Gervonta, he has more fans. Rolly is happy with that shit. For Ryan Garcia, it seems like he's right in tow. He's right in tow, dog. Ryan is acting like all I want is the shot. I'm gonna shock y'all. For real. I'm gonna shock y'all. A lot of people gonna be shocked. Believe me. That's what I'm getting from Ryan Garcia, man. He just seems like he's in desperation mode. By all means necessary, he need to prove to the black fans that they need to get behind him. And they feel like going after Gervonta, that's the way that he can change levels. He can bring in the Mexican fight fans, and he can bring in the black fight fans. I don't know, dog. I agree. He needs to go to 135. Yeah, he needs to go back down to 135 and stop talking about like he's too big all of a sudden. And you should have had that all planned out, man. When you was going through what you was going through, when you was trying to figure out when they was putting you in the Fab Five. I mean, come on, keep it honest, man. You made weight. You know, your last fight at a higher weight class. You should just commit to stand at 140, man. Say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to sit up here and tell Mayweather and Davis and Ellaby and all them people, you're not going to sit up there and tell them, oh, if you want to fight me, come to 140. Look, they're not going to give you that much. They're not going to say you got the juice, man. What the fuck you thinking? They're not gonna allow you to have that. But man, it's been cool, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, this Friday. Real talk. I'm about to bounce, man. Y'all hold it down. One click the link. I'll probably drop the link later. But y'all hold it down, man. Continue to support the channel. Big salute to everyone. Hit the like button on your way out the door. You know what I'm saying?